How many numbers up to 1200 are perfectly divisible by 5, 6, 8? How many numbers up to 1200 are perfectly divisible by 1200? Sorry, how many numbers up to 1200 are perfectly divisible by 5, 6 and 8? Okay, now what will we do? So if you are dividing with 2 or more numbers with a condition of n, okay, so then you must take the LCM of these numbers first. What is the LCM of these numbers? Okay, so if you take the LCM of 5, 6, 8, the LCM is, so 2 3s are 2 4s are 2 5s are 10, 10 3s are 30, 34s are what? 120. What is the LCM then? The LCM is 120. The LCM is what? 120. Now we can directly do the answer after knowing the LCM. After knowing the LCM, what is the final answer? The final answer is this number divided by this number. Okay, 120 tens. The final answer is what? 10. Okay, the final answer is what? 10. So how many numbers up to 1200 are perfectly divisible by 5, 6 and 8 means that the LCM is 120. The LCM is 120. So we divide this number with the LCM. The quotient is your answer. The quotient is what? 10. So again here the condition is what? We are dividing with 2 or more numbers with a condition of n. Now let's go to the next problem. How many numbers up to 1200? How many numbers up to 1200 are perfectly divisible by 4, 10, 15, 20? So what is the LCM of these numbers? LCM of these numbers means that, so first you find out the LCM of the numbers. If you find out the LCM, so it is the factors are 10 and the factors are 4. So 23 is 60. Okay, so 60 is the LCM. You can find out the LCM later. So the LCM is 60. In the class of LCM, you know how fast we can find out the LCM by using different methods. Here what I do is just first of all I remove the numbers of 4 and 10 because these are the factors of 20. So 23 is 60, so which is also divisible by 15. So I can directly write the LCM of 60 without dividing by long division method. Okay, that we will learn it in the concept of LCM, no problem. So by the way, you know how to find out the LCM, right? So you divide this one, 2 2s are 2 5s are 2 2s are 10 here, 2 2s are 2 5s are 15 and 2 10s are. Now this number is divisible by 5 1s are 5 3s are 5 2s are. So again this number is divisible by 2 1s are 1 1. So 2 5s are 10, 10 2s are 20, 23s are what? 60. So normally we did the LCM like this. Okay, by the way, you can learn the different concept of LCM, how fast we can do any LCM. So in the class of LCMs, okay, as of now, so you just follow by the general method. What is the LCM? LCM is 60. Okay, LCM is what? The LCM is 60. Now you divide this number. Now you divide this number with LCM. What is the LCM? LCM is 60. So the final answer is what? 20. Okay. Now the answer is 20. How many numbers up to 1200 are perfectly divisible by 4, 10, 15 and 20 means that the answer is what? The answer is 20. Okay. So because here we have more than 2 numbers, 2 or more than 2 numbers. If you are dividing with 2 or more numbers, then immediately take the LCM of these numbers. The LCM of these numbers is 60. I am dividing with 60. The final answer is 20. Okay. Let's go to the next one. And before that, you see, so we have seen the 2 conditions. The first condition is when we are dividing with a single number. The next condition is when we are dividing with the 2 or more numbers, but with a condition of n. Okay, with a condition of what? N. I'll give you that. So what is that mean, that n? So here if you see the problem, how many numbers up to 100 are perfectly divisible by 2 or 3? And it is not 2 and 3. Now we'll see the difference between 2 and 3. 2 or 3. Okay, so 2 and 3 and 2 or 3. So what is the difference between 2 and 3 or 2 or 3? When I say that 2 and 3, which means that the numbers must be divisible by 2 and also the numbers must be divisible by 3. Whereas in the case of 2 or 3, either the numbers are divisible by 2 or the numbers are divisible by 3, you can clearly understand the difference between and or. Okay, suppose if I take that, if I want to take tea and coffee or tea and samosa, which means that what? I should take tea and also I should take samosa, which means that I am choosing both the things. When I say that I can choose tea or samosa, which means that either I can take tea only, then it satisfies the condition, or I can take only samosa, it is also satisfying the condition, or I can also take that tea and samosa. Okay, do you understand that? When I say that I will take tea and samosa, which means that I am taking both the things. Okay, when I say that tea and samosa, I am taking tea and samosa, which means that I am taking both the tea and samosa. I am picking up both the things. When I say that tea or coffee, tea or samosa, which means that what? Either I can take tea or either I can take samosa, or I can also take tea and coffee. So tea and samosa. In the first condition, tea and samosa, I have only one thing. Okay, so I should choose both the things. But when I say that tea or samosa, I have different possibilities. I can choose tea only, or I can choose samosa only, or I can choose both tea and samosa. Okay, so which means that in the condition of or, so we will also have a condition of n. Okay, do you get my point? So n is different, or is different. So actually n comes in the part of, n is actually part of r. Okay, so now coming to our problem. So what is the main difference we have seen that between n and r? So when I represent in the numbers, so 2 and 3 means that the numbers must be divisible by both 2 and 3. In the same case, if I say that how many numbers are divisible by 2 or 3, which means that the numbers are divisible by only 2. How many numbers are divisible by only 2? Or how many numbers are divisible by only 3? Or the number of numbers are divisible by both 2 and 3. Which means that in the condition of 2 or 3, apart from both 2 and 3, so which already we did in this case, and we also supposed to find out the number of numbers which are divisible by only 2, and also we have to find out the number of numbers which are divisible by only 3. Okay, so this is what it means exactly. So the difference between and or. So by the way, how do we find out the problems related to when R condition is given? See, there are 3 conditions. The first condition is, so the numbers are divisible by a single number. The second condition is the numbers are divisible by 2 or more numbers with the condition of n. See, if you see the condition, how many numbers are divisible by, so up to 1200 are divisible by 4, 10, 15 and 20 means that, so the numbers must be divisible by all the numbers, right? It must be divisible by 4, it must be divisible by 10, it must be divisible by 15 and it must be divisible by 20. That is what the n means, right? Now this condition is different. R condition is different. If I ask you that how many numbers are divisible by R, 2 or 3, it is absolutely different from n condition, 2 and 3 condition. Okay, now how do we do this kind of problems? So actually we can find out this kind of questions answers by using the help of Venn diagrams. Okay, so Venn diagrams. Okay, let's take a small example. Okay, suppose if I give you this Venn diagram, okay, what it represents is means that, so this circle represents number of people who prefers to take tea, and also this circle represents the number of people prefer to take coffee. Okay. Now, if I ask you that how many people will prefer only tea, how many people will prefer only tea, which means that only tea, the number of people who prefer only tea is what? Only tea means that 7. Okay, I'm saying that only tea. That means that they should consume only tea. They should not consume coffee. If you see this part, this part completely represents tea. But in this complete part, we have this 7 is number of people who prefer only tea. Suppose if I ask you that how many people will prefer tea without a condition of only, which means that all the people who comes in this circle, is your answer right? So because I am saying that tea, so probably some of the students or some of the people can also take coffee. When I say that only tea, so they should not take any other beverage. But when I say that tea means that this complete circle represents tea, which means that some people can also have the other drink. So 7 plus 5, that is 12 is your answer. And similarly, if I ask that number of people, how many number of people prefer only coffee? Only coffee means that 13. Only coffee means that what? 13. And how many people will prefer coffee? Coffee means that what? Coffee means that this complete circle, that is what? 13 plus 5, 18. Which means that when you are doing problems on the Venn diagram, which is also an important topic which comes in the reasoning part, okay, so you remember these points. If the word only is there, we only represent this one. If the word only is not given, then we completely take this circle. So that's why the word only is important. You always make sure that so we have the word only or not. Okay. Now by the way, so if I ask you that, so how many people will prefer tea and coffee? Tea and coffee. So tea and coffee means that, so this part is your tea and coffee. The common part, the intersection part is N. That represents what? N. So tea and coffee means that how many people are there? 5 people. So I represent in the diagram. Okay. So whenever you supposed to find out the N means that this is the condition. N means that what? Intersection part. N means that what? Intersection part. So how many people prefer tea and coffee? So which means that the common part. So this is N means that common part or intersection part. So you know how do we represent that intersection part. And similarly, when I ask you that how many people will prefer tea or coffee? Tea or coffee. What is the meaning of tea or coffee? When I say that R means that, now you see R means that R represents whole union. R represents what? Whole union. That means that, so this is what R represents. Intersection means that common part. Okay. So this represents end. The common part represents what? End. And when I take the complete circle like this, so this represents what? This represents R. This represents what? R. So which is nothing but what? Union. So now you tell me that how many, when I ask you that how many people will prefer tea and coffee, N means that what? N means that this common part. So the answer is what? 5. If I ask you that how many people will prefer tea or coffee, tea or coffee means that I should completely take this one, which means that what is the answer? My answer is, so this complete thing means that what? So 7 plus 5 plus 13. So which is nothing but what? 12 plus 15. So which is 25. Okay. So what is the final answer? So 25 is the final answer. So how many people will prefer tea or coffee? So which means that, so this complete thing. So because R means that what? Only tea, only coffee plus tea and coffee. As I already mentioned in the previous case, only tea, only coffee, and also we should include tea and coffee. Okay. So this is what the representation of this one. So let us further elaborate this one. Okay. So if you take the two circles, which is A circle and B circle. Okay, so this represents the n of a part and n of b parts, and we have seen that. So this complete part is what? This complete part is taken as union, and this part is taken as what? Intersection part. Then we have actually a generalized formula. So probably if you can remember that, the formula is what? N of A union B is equal to N of A union B is equal to N of A plus N of B minus N of A intersection B. N of A union B. So what is the formula for N of A union B? N of A union B means that N of A plus N of B minus N of A intersection B. Okay, so which means that N of A union B means that this complete thing is equal to N of A plus N of B minus N of A intersection B. So because we are adding these two times, so that's why this is the formula. And actually, so while doing the problems on this, how many numbers are divisible by, so 2 or 3, so we use this formula. So because this formula represents what? N of A union B means that what? So union represents R, intersection represents N. Here, so if I want to find out how many numbers up to some number are divisible by, when I say that 2 or 3, so 2 or 3, so R means that what? R means that U only. So because union represents what? R. So N of 2 union 3, suppose if I want to find out N of 2 union 3, so how many numbers up to some number are divisible by 2 or 3? This is N of 2 union B is equal to N of 2 plus N of 3 minus N of 2 intersection 3, which is nothing but what? N. Intersection means that what? N. If I want to find out how many numbers are divisible by 2 or 3, so which is nothing but what? So first we find out the number of numbers which are divisible by 2 plus number of numbers which are divisible by 3. From this we subtract the numbers, how many numbers are divisible by both 2 and 3. Okay. So let me go to the main problem. So how many numbers up to 100 are divisible by 2 or 3? So whenever you have this condition, R condition, then immediately you take R is nothing but what? Union. Then immediately, so you apply it in the formula, N of A union formula. What is the formula of N of A union B? N of A union B is equal to N of A plus N of B minus N of A intersection B minus N of A intersection B. Now I require the number 2 or 3. So N of 2 or 3. R means that union. N of 2 union 3 is equal to N of 2 plus N of 3 minus N of 2 intersection 3. Instead of A I have the value, so instead of A I have the value 2, instead of B I have the value 3. So when I have the R value, R problem, okay, so then immediately you apply it in this formula. Now how many numbers? First let me find out the number of numbers which are divisible by 2 up to 100. So if you take it separately, how many, you tell me that how many numbers are perfectly divisible by 2 up to 100? 100 by 2 only, the quotient is your answer 50, right? So 3 means that what? 100 by 3. So 3 3 is a 9 and 3 3 is a minus 2 and 3 means that what? N means that intersection part. And in the previous case we have seen that how many numbers are up to some number are perfectly divisible by different numbers with a condition of n, which is nothing but we take the LCM of these numbers, right? So 2 and 3 LCM is what? LCM is 6. Now how many numbers are perfectly divisible by 6 up to 100? So 100 divided with 6, right? So which means that 16 6 is a 96. So 83 minus 16. So what is the final answer? The final answer is 67, which means that how many numbers up to 100 are divisible by 2 or 3. Or 2 or 3 means that what? So we have such 67 such numbers which are perfectly divisible by 2 or 3. So which means that those numbers are divisible by either 2 or 3, okay, or intersection part. So this is the representation of R problem. So there are 3 conditions. The first condition is how many numbers are up to a particular number are divisible by a single number. That we know that, so we simply divide that number with that number, okay, up to which number we have. So simply divide with the divisor. The quotient part is your answer. And the second condition is when we are dividing with 2 or more numbers with a condition of n, which means that so the numbers must be divisible by all the given number, all the divisors. So when the n condition is there, then we take the LCM of the numbers, then we'll make it as a single number. And the next condition is R condition. When the R condition is given, this is the procedure we have to follow. So n of A union, we apply n of A union formula. N of A union B is equal to what? N of A plus N of B minus N of A intersection B. So